what I'm trying to show here is one possible method of wiring up the Bluetooth speakers for your students using, at the moment in the short term, a 9-volt internal batteries to a switched DC socket. I'll explain that in detail in a minute. And then from the back of that, an on-off switch. And can you see those two wires going off in the distance? So they'd be going to your amplifier and your Bluetooth dongle. And at the moment they're just showing 9 volts or 9.8 volts coming from here. Let me just demonstrate that with sorry about that. Turn the power off, nothing there. Turn the power back on, 9 volts. Now what's going on over here is I've also here's something we prepared earlier, 12 volt DC coming in from the plug pack. And if I plug that into the switched power socket, it will automatically disconnect those 9 volts and connect the 12 volts. Now just bear with me while I muck around and do this. I'm going to have to pause the video because I need 3 hands. Just a sec. Okay, so I'm back. What I've done is I've connected that external plug straight into the socket, not changed anything else, and you see that the power supply has jumped to 12.58 volts, which would go off to the amplifier. Now, because I can do this with just one hand, I'm going to demonstrate if I disconnect the power, that's the 12 volts gone, it switches back immediately to the 9 volt internal. So that would be something that would be quick and easy for your students to do with what they've got. More information on wiring the back of this DC input socket. I should warn you, there are 2 types of sockets. This one I've used for demonstration. However, they are becoming less popular, and I will also send you information on the more popular panel mount one. So this is what they refer to as a chassis mount. Panel mount, where you only have to drill 1 hole through the panel and it screws on. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so this is the panel mount. Can you see you only got to drill 1 hole, and this mounts through with a lock nut that, sorry, I'll put it down, let's just get a bit closer here. Drill 1 hole through your panel, screw it up with a lock nut, and then just mount on the back. Advantages, it's a lot cheaper, and that's the way most production's going these days. The disadvantages, they're a little bit more expensive. So if you have a budget issue, we still have stock of these, but if you're doing a fair number of them, you may find these easier. What I'm showing here is some of the care and the magic that has to be done on the back of the DC socket. You can see the common red, it goes off to either the plus 9 volts or the center, the center pin here is positive and goes off to that switch, which is our on-off switch. And on the back, and you need to be careful, the 2 earths that are here, one of them is switched off to the 9 volt battery, and the other one off the back goes permanently off to your amplifier, and the third part of that is over here on. Can you see when we insert the plug, it pushes that spring apart and switches off the 9 volt and switches over to the earth off here, which is 12, and that's the bit that students need to get very carefully correct.